So guys, did you already saw what our prof in ECE have sent in e-learn, like the assignment?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
It's a bit long, but
Okay,
yeah.
so since it is a group assignment, I think we should talk about the plan already. So do you guys have an initial idea?
Yes, we could just assume these questions. Since there are four of us, we could just choose which one to answer.
I can answer question 3.
I think I can do question 1.
I'll be going to answer question 2.
So I guess I'll be question four.
Wait, when will be our deadline for this?
So I think we could do this by Wednesday, since I think it's just easy for all of us.
Okay,
Okay.
Wednesday is okay for me.
So I guess we'll meet again by Wednesday. Thank you guys.
Bye.
See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye. Hello guys. Any progress?
So yeah, I was about to do the assignment and then I just realized, have we discussed anything in this subject?
Yeah, I agree. We haven't really discussed anything. We were just given PowerPoint presentations and PDF files,
Wait,
I
there's
think.
PPT and PDF files?
Yeah, it was supposed to learn.
Wait. Let me open it. Oh, okay. So we had 6 lessons. First is Introduction to Electronics. Second is the Fundamentals. Third is Basic Laws. Fourth is Electric Current. The fifth is Voltage, and the last one is about batteries.
Oh yeah, I remember that through that PDF and PowerPoint presentation that our prof have sent us, I also learned few learnings that I could really share to you guys. One of it is how I learned that electronics started in early 20th century and it evolved and developed through time. So we are experiencing the advantage of this development in electronics, basically into like doing our daily tasks more easier and doing a task that humans are limited from doing. Also, electronics gave us an avenue to develop these electronic equipments for better consumption, especially today. One example is the fast transition of our cell phones that we currently have. I know that you guys are very aware of that because you are very much engaged with electronics nowadays. So the second one that I could share would be my learnings on the two specific type of circuit elements. So these two specific types are the passive and active elements.
Yeah. I
But
remember that.
I can't really specify what are the passive elements. I could only remember one, which is I'm sure of that resistor is part of the passive elements, but I can't remember the other passive element. But you guys can remember it or share if you
I think the
remember.
other passive elements are I think the resistors. Yeah, you said resistors, right?
Yeah.
I think the two are capacitors and inductors, I think.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also know that active components include batteries, amplifiers, and power supplies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is
No,
it
it's okay.
right?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah,
Those are active
yeah.
components.
The next learning that I could really share is that I can't forget how I learned the relationship of resistance, voltage, current, and power. But I can tell the specific law that states the relationship.
Oh,
It's so
I think
familiar.
you mean Ohm's law.
Yeah, Ohm's law.
Yeah, it's Ohm's law.
Oh, yeah.
Ohms is a unit for resistance, right?
Yeah.
And one of the basic concepts of resistance is that resistivity of an object is directly proportional to its length and is inversely proportional to its area. And I also learned the different connections of resistance, which is the parallel and the series connections of resistance. These two connections, which is the parallel and the series, have something to do with the voltage and the current divider rule, which I think is very useful, especially when we go to higher degree in college, or like we are calculating for specific value of resistance. And also, do you guys still remember the Kirchhoff's law, or do you know the Kirchhoff's
Yeah,
law?
there's two kind of Kirchhoff's law.
Yeah.
The Kirchhoff's current law, I think, and the Kirchhoff's voltage law.
Yeah, and I think
Nice.
that has something to do with the principle of conservation. But the Kirchhoff's current law is more on the application on the principle of conservation of electric charge, while the Kirchhoff's voltage law is more on the application of the principle of conservation of energy. It's it that I could share. Do you guys have something to share based on what you have read on the PDF files that Sir have sent us?
I think I can share one. I'm very interested in this because I just read it and then I just realized this breakthrough in electronics is very significant. I was fascinated by the discovery of, I think, silicon. Silicon is a known element as a stable element for anything that involves semiconductors and transistors, which, as what Ren discussed, is very much what runs the world today, which are electronics gadgets. So I think the
Ah.
discovery of silicon is very it's a breakthrough
Yeah.
idea. So anyway,
Yeah.
so what were the other questions?
I think the next question is mine, the insights. Am I right?
Yeah, it's the insights.
Insights.
Yeah.
Well, after listening to Ren, I realized that learning about these things can help me a lot despite of the many times it has been discussed, because in my case, I already encountered it since I was in 9th grade. Since it is the basics, it should not be, what do you call that, taken for granted, for these are the building blocks once things get more complex, especially in our complex world. Furthermore, circuits are the focus of our course, which is electronics engineering, right?
Yeah.
So because of this, the concepts of current, voltage, and the similar things will be easier to understand and will help me and you a lot to know the do's and the don'ts in the world of electronics. And what else? Circuits are everywhere, we know that, and we encounter them every day. The fundamentals learned will then be very useful once it is applied in the real world. What do you guys think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. So that leaves us with the last question. Yeah.
Question is, how how are you and your experience at the end of the quarter? So honestly, at the beginning, I was so afraid and hesitant to join the ECE because I have a little knowledge about. So when the quarter started, I did some little adjustments and advanced reading and keeping up with the same. I just realized that this experience can help me in my future because it helps me balance everything and be responsible for the things that I am doing. You guys, how are you? How are you and your experience?
I think one of my takeaways or experience in this subject at the end of the quarter is that honestly I was a bit disappointed on how we are taking up this class. I know that due to the pandemic we are being taught online, yet I cannot help but imagine what if we're taking up this class on campus. What I'm saying is, I cannot say in general how my experience in this subject is if what I am experiencing is just a partial of what is the subject is supposed to be. Though I'm still looking forward on what this subject or this course in general has to offer when this pandemic ends. Lastly, as what Sir Pabillaran says, kung online man good, daghan sideline. And I totally agree on that. So far, my experience in this subject is full of distractions and sidelines which can affect my overall experience. But yeah, compared to it being taught face to face.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I have the same thoughts with Renier earlier, because learning through online classes is a different experience. Like, aside from having limitations since we must always be at home, it is a challenge for me, and it kind of tests myself on how much I am capable of. I was able to learn, thankfully, plenty of things under electronics, and it pushes me to acquire more and more knowledge. But then, at the end of the quarter, I must say that I am very grateful that I have learned the basics of, even they are basics, since they will actually help me go through the more complex topics that I will encounter for sure in the future.
Yes, actually, what Armand said about what Sir Pabillaran told us is really, really true. Because
Yeah.
even though we're just given these PDF files and PowerPoint presentations for us to read and like study, we can't really say that we cannot be distracted throughout the time that we are studying or reading these specific files. Yes, distractions will always be around us. I'm also looking forward to learn this amazing and interesting subject in person or in actual, in face to face, because I think it would be more engaging if we will learn it in person or in actual, not just in online. Okay, so I think that's it. We
Yeah.
already answered all the questions. So anyone just recorded this meeting
Yeah,
or this?
I recorded it. And also, I can volunteer to edit the video too.
Okay, sounds like a plan.